Welcome to Incognito Islamic Productions.
Okay, on to our topic of concerning Muslims being identified as being bloodthirsty, especially because of their practice on Eid al-Adha, gathering up small animals and cutting their necks. This West that has this great concern about animal rights today, which becomes even greater than their concern about human rights. They specify, or they have, attacked Muslims because of this practice, especially in France, where some years back, Bridget Bardot had taken up the cause of the sheep and the goats, that were being slaughtered, in the thousands by French Muslims on Eid al-Adha, and had made some abusive remarks regarding Muslims, and it was a court case and everything else. This became sort of an internationally known situation. And we know that in America too, it's there. I remember there was some years back, there was a front page New York Times article where they had this photograph of police breaking into this Muslim man's home, right? This Algerian Muslim, who was living in New York. And the neighbors used to see him go out and bring a live chicken into his home, and then they wouldn't hear anything more about the chicken, right? Regularly, once a week, he would come and bring a live chicken in his home, right? And they suspected that he was killing the chicken in his home. So they made a plan with the SPCA, the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, to time when he's going. When he comes back, because of course it's not illegal to bring the live chicken in your home, but what you do in the home, that's what's illegal, right? So they waited until he got back with his chicken in his home, and they, brought the police, and they kicked in his door. They kicked in his door, and rushed into his kitchen and caught him, there with a knife in his hand, and the chicken, and they had the photograph of them catching his hand with the knife and the chicken, and they're taking away the chicken, and this was front page news, They saved the chicken from this horrible end, right? And of course the image of Muslims, cutting the necks of chickens in their kitchen sinks and stuff, raised the general impression of us being bloodthirsty type individuals. So if this issue arises, and it sometimes comes up in dawah, we can easily clarify for them that the method of slaughter, Islamic method of slaughter, which involves cutting the neck of the animal while it is alive, actually relieves the animal of pain. It is a much more humane way of killing the animal than the methods that the West has developed, which they think is more humane. They say we kill the animals, we cut their necks when they're unconscious. And of course, if you're unconscious, technically you're not going to feel pain. Right? So they say that is more humane. But we say to them, how do you make them unconscious? That is the point. Because the main two methods, one is electrocution. This is a very painful way to go into unconsciousness. Imagine being electrocuted so much you went unconscious, right? And then you cut your neck. Well, what is the benefit of cutting your neck at that point and relieving you when you had to apply so much pain? Or the other method, which they call the deadbolt method, we have a gun with a bolt in it. It doesn't fire a bullet, but a metal bolt comes out and it's spring-loaded, comes back in, which they use for bigger animals like cows and goats. Then they put the gun by the head and they fire it. This bolt hits the animal in the head, it goes unconscious. Yeah, they swing it up and cut the neck without any problems. But we say to them, that is like somebody taking a cricket bat, right? And smacking you on the side of your head when you went unconscious, then they cut your neck. Are they doing you a favor? No. That blow to your head is so painful. We say this is not more humane at all. And tests have been done in Germany concerning the slaughter of animals, showing that, in fact, cutting the necks whilst the animal is alive, the animal doesn't even realize it. They put cardiac points on the animals and tested them when they were cutting the necks. So some experiments which were done in Germany by Muslim doctors, German doctors. So the point is that it is a much more humane way of taking the life of the animal. Because the knife is supposed to be extremely sharp, and the animal doesn't necessarily feel it. Just like a razor blade, you can cut yourself with a razor blade without even realizing it, because it's so sharp. And it's the same way. The fact that the animal kicks its legs and these kind of things, these are just bodily reactions. It doesn't, but you're cutting off the blood to the brain, right? And the animal goes naturally into unconsciousness and dies easily,